A very good evening. Thank you very much for choosing GHOne TV. It's always a delight when we come your way with the latest happenings throughout the country. Well, we're bringing you up to speed on all the local stories. We'll touch base with some business stories. We'll bring you some sports news and we'll refresh you with some entertainment news. Just before we get to you all the details, let's look at some of the top stories that we have for you tonight. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, High Court in Koforidua grants interim injunction against swearing in of Kwame Appiah Kodua as MP for Fanteakwa North. Tonight, we'll bring you details. Also, coming up, MPP sets up 11-member committee to investigate cause of defeat in the just-ended 2024 elections. Well, the party has also selected current majority leader Alexander Afenyomakin as minority leader when the 9th Parliament commences.
Hard work, hard work, hard work. May God be my guide.
Dates from our local front tonight as traders who lost their wars to the Kantamanto Inferno allege arson as they call for a thorough investigation into the incident. Also ahead, Ghanaians have been urged by the clergy to put political differences aside and forge ahead as one for the progress of the nation. The swearing in of the MPP candidate. Well, let's listen to him. All right, so very shortly, Lawyer Isaac has joined us on phone for more details on this particular story. Well, Lawyer Isaac, thank you very much for your time tonight. Can you give us a bit of clarification on why this injunction?
Thank you very much. Good evening to your listeners. This injunction is very, very necessary because you see, where a person has contested the election, he has been declared the winner by the returning officer of the constituency, who has the legal mandate to do so. And then the Electoral Commission, which thinks that they can use any powers that they have, irrespective of the law, go behind the scenes and then get somebody else to go and re-declare the elections and claim that somebody else has won. This is completely unfair. You see, the laws of this country, all of us, should be ready and willing at any time to comply with it. Where a declaration has already been done and a person is agreed, the remedy is to petition the court for the court to take a look at it. And if you have a good case, of course, the law will be applied. I don't see how, when a declaration has already been done in accordance with law, especially when it is the returning officer for the constituency who has been duly sworn in to do that, and he has gone ahead to do so, and has already declared someone, which is in this case my client, Haruna Apawedu of Fanteakwa North. Then you proceed as the electoral commission to go pick the pink sheet, and you see, they even took 2 ballot boxes using the Koforidua police, the regional command. They went to Fanteakwa North and picked 2 ballot boxes without anybody's knowledge. And then they took it together with some pink sheets they claim they have and proceeded to test someone in Accra, far away from the jurisdiction of the election. And then they used someone they call deputy returning officer and used that person to declare someone else. You think this is proper? With the greatest of respect, I don't think that we've ever had any electoral commissioner who will do this. And it's so unfortunate that we have Ghanaians are doing this to Ghanaians.
To serve this injunction, and how soon do you expect also your application to be granted?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
All right, so I'm trying to get if you've been able to serve the injunction to your opponents, and indeed, if the court has already granted your application, or how soon you're expecting it to be granted.
Well, we have fixed the hearing of the application for the 17th of January. And we have called service of same on the Clergy of Parliament as well as the Speaker of Parliament. Now, what we are expecting is that if the Electoral Commission, who is the party to this thing, and Honorable Kodia, who is the MPP parliamentary candidate, if these two people believe that they are within the remit of the law and they have respect for the law, and when we both appear before the court, they believe they can win this case, then they should just take it easy and come to court. Come and meet us on the 17th. Let us make an argument. They should also make the argument. After all, there are two precedents under the 8th Parliament which shows that Parliament can proceed to undertake its business even though a particular or some constituencies have not been represented. An example is so. In the 8th Parliament from 2020 to 2024, there was no representation, but Parliament continued to do its work. Again, the situation at Temeng, he was injuncted by Supreme Court. Because of that, for a while, Temeng did not have any parliamentary representation. That did not stop Parliament from doing its work. And so there is enough precedence to show that even when there's a shortage of parliamentarians, Parliament can still do its work. And so for all the parliamentary seats that are disputed, I believe that we should let the law take its course. And in the meantime, no one should be thrown in, because that prejudices the matter. And you know, the law is that when somebody is a parliamentarian, you can't serve the person on his way to Parliament or on his way back from Parliament. And that, makes it difficult. So we do not want anyone to complicate the matter. We want Parliament to ensure that where there are disputes, they refrain from swearing all those parliamentarians. Let us go to court. Let us settle our battles in court. Ghana is a democracy. There should be rule of law. There should be respect for the law. Let us go to the court. And once you get to the court, and you believe you have your case, I also believe I have my case. And at the end of the day, we put our case forward. I believe where the law is where the judges are going to put the law. And at the end of the day, whoever has been validly and legitimately, elected, will be the one who have to go to Parliament to go and represent their constituency.
All right, Lawyer Labi, thank you very much. Definitely we would be getting to the MPP to get their reaction on this particular story of the injunction that has been filed in Fanteakwa. Let's move on to other political stories. And here the New Patriotic Party, that's the MPP, has selected Alexander Afenyo-Markin, MP for Efutu, as its majority leader when the 9th Parliament commences on January 7th. Well, Afenyo-Markin has seen a lot of groups lobbying for his retention, while others have called for his head. Well, Star News sources can confirm that Alexander Afenyo-Markin, who previously served as majority leader, will now take on the role as minority leader. Patricia Apieje, the member of parliament for Asukwa constituency in the Ashanti region, has been appointed deputy minority leader, while Frank Ano Dompre, MP for Insawem Adrejuri, will retain his position as a minority chief whip. Well, Habib Idrisu, currently first deputy majority whip, also switches to first deputy minority whip, and Davis Opoku-Ansah makes an entry as second deputy whip, replaces the outgoing second deputy whip Alex Tete, who lost his seat. Here is General Secretary of the party, Justin Kodia, speaking to the media after the National Council meeting.
We are not happy about our performance, and we feel that we need to do introspection to really ascertain what went wrong. So in the wisdom of the National Council, 11-member committee has been put in place. The mandate that has been given to them are in about 4 folds. The first one is to review the party's internal activities, from selection or elections of polling station executives through to electoral area coordinators, constituency officers, regional officers and national officers, presidential primaries and parliamentary primaries. they are supposed to do a review of how all these activities were conducted. Then again, another terms of reference is for them to also look at the campaign structure, how it was structured, how we campaign, even our message, even how in terms of digitization, how we're able to sell our candidates, and all those issues that borders on the campaign.
All right, so the media caught up with Alexander Afenyo-Markin, well, currently the majority leader, but now he is going to take up the role as a minority leader. And he had this to say about his selection as minority leader for the 9th Parliament.
I thank the National Council for the trust reposed in me, the decision to confirm me to lead my side in Parliament. And I can promise them one thing: hard work, hard work, hard work. May God be my guide. Thank you very much.
All right, so the setting up of the committee is welcome news to the communications director of the NPP, as they believe it will help the party return stronger in 2028. Rabiatu Salifu is a deputy national communications director of the party, and she spoke to GHOne TV.
We had a very successful deliberation, and you know the NPP is a political party that has very informed leadership and has chunk of experience. What happened is just the will of God, and largely we need to do strong introspection to understand where we are coming from in terms of the defeat and then moving on. For the issue of why not changing the leadership or what have you, that is an internal decision, and it has to do with a lot of factors that were considered. And for now, I wouldn't want to really unearth everything that was discussed, but to say that we still have very much faith in this leadership. The party wants them to continue with what they have started, and I have a very strong belief that this same leadership would help us to do the introspection, to do the regrouping, and go for power in 2028.
All right, so that's about all we have for you in Insight tonight. We still have more. Do stay with us. We're back with more updates. All right, so thank you very much for keeping faith with us. Let's bring you some more updates. And here, Finance Minister Mohammed Amin Adam has started the process for government to be able to meet financial obligations for the first quarter of year 2025. Well, the mini budget had been stalled Parliament due to the disagreements over some bills, including the free SHS bill, some tax waivers, and the approval of some judges to the Supreme Court. Well, the minority and majority side of the House over the Speaker of Parliament had adjourned to the 2nd of January 2025. Parliament has also today considered the report of the Emoluments Committee for Article 71 office holders as the countdown begins for President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to exit. Well, let's go to Parliament, where my head of political desk, Ibrahim Al-Hassan, is monitoring activities. Ibrahim Al-Hassan, thank you very much for your time tonight. So bring us up to speed on exactly what has been happening in Parliament.
Kweku, you're welcome to Parliament, and of course, a while ago we were in the chamber. Members of Parliament have made their way into the chamber, awaiting the committee's report. In fact, the budget committee sees what the mini budget, so to speak, where government is seeking approval to spend over 68 billion Ghana cedis for the first quarter of 2025. I have a member of Parliament for Doma East, Honorable Paul Chumberima here. First of all, it's been a long day. Honorable, you're live on GHOne TV. Was this what you expected?
Clearly, we were not expecting this. But clearly, the budget for the appropriation for the community just was laid today and was referred to the budget committee, of which I'm a member. We just came out from the committee, so we just finished it, and we are hoping that very soon the Speaker will reconsider the House again for us to consider it and take it up.
How did the deliberations go at the committee level?
Very well. I think there's not much to debate on. Clearly, these are line items that are there in terms of compensation, in terms of some arrears that need to be paid, some in terms of capital expenditures and other things that were there. So there was nothing much to debate on. It went smoothly. The minister was able to give us the full components of the budget, explain it to us, and we're okay with it. Both sides were okay with it.
Was the delay necessary? This could have been done last year.
Obviously, when we wanted to do it, some people were dancing, singing revolution in the chamber. Clearly, when the leadership of the House, led by the majority leader, Honorable Fanteakwa, was ready to lay this, they were not ready. They were fighting for minority positions. They were fighting for singing and all that. So we could have done this, but clearly we still have to do it. And I'm sure later by close of day we're supposed to pass it.
Well, of course, we'll come to a decision that your party has taken to retain your front bench and add an OPK as the only addition. But first of all, let's even touch on that. What do you make of this? Was that what you expected?
Fantastic leadership. Fantastic choice. Is there any other choice other than this? I think you're a fantastic leader. Times like this, you need a charismatic, diverse leader like Afenyo to lead a house that's going to face chaotic people like NDC. They have some people that can be very chaos, and you need a tough man like Afenyo to lead such a group. My very good friend, and the man himself, OPK, he's the man. He's the man to make sure that he can marshal the team to move on and all that. And if you look at my own guy, my own boss, Anor, Habib, also calm people who are going to blend the whole front, and also Mama Pat coming with that female touch and all that. So I think it's the best bench you can get in times like this. And let me commend NEC and the National Council and the Senate Committee for what they've done. This is fantastic.
We told Jerry Ahmed has equally been added to the front bench, and that's the MP-elect for Wijagbawe. But of course, a few hours ago, we were sacked from the chamber because you were going to undertake closed sitting. And we are told it's got something to do with a monument for Article 71 office holders. How did that go? How did it go?
Well, I wasn't in the chamber at that time, so I can't speak to it at that time.
Yeah, but we understand that usually what happens is that once the committee's work is done, I'm talking about the Emoluments Committee, Parliament will then approve that of the executive will then approve that of Parliament.
I think mostly that lies with the leadership. So it's more of the leadership that are going to discuss it, and basically, because it's starts from the caucuses and then comes to leadership, and the leadership then transmits it to the appropriate quarters for appropriate approvals to be done. So clearly, it's something that wasn't there. I don't know much about that. But obviously, it's about a member of Parliament going to receive a salary increment and a salary raise, or what they call back pay. There's nothing called gacha or nothing. There's nothing like that. Obviously, over the years, people work, they've been paid certain salary, there have been salary increment. Obviously, parliamentarians' salary will not increase. So you work back the increment that you are going to give to them, and then that's what they're going to get. But clearly, I am sure that there's going to, got also suggestions one time from my friend Sam George that they should separate the two so that you know this is the person's salary and this is the arrears that accrued over the 4 years and this is what the person is due. So I'm sure those things will be done and all that.
All right. And finally, your council, National Council, also set up a committee led by Professor Okwe to investigate why you lost and the way you lost. Is it necessary?
I mean, they are the highest decision-making body of our party, and if they have taken that step, I think we cannot falter them. Clearly, if they believe that that institution or that committee must come in to find out how things went for us to go to this, for us to get to this point, I think it is in right order. Indeed, I've always said that blame games now will not help anybody. Mentioning this person have done that, this person did that, we will not help anybody because the issues are a lot, and we need to put them into one basket, see them, and be able to understand what actually happened. But you cannot say, oh, it's Paul Chumberima that caused it, or a member of Parliament A or B is the person. It's purely an election. Two things comes out. Either you win or you lose. When you win, you look at what made you win and you just keep it. If you lose, you go back, look at what made you lose, and then you work at it. And that is what I think they have done. And I think it's not out of place at all.
The president is expected here tomorrow. Your expectation?
Of course. I mean, we are expecting him to tell us the best. The best he has done for this country. Obviously, he has done a lot for this country. You may have your own reservation, but clearly, free as church, you have to tell us the greatest things that he has done, all the best thing. I mean, now our economy is at 7.2. So what means that what Ken Oforiatta did some time back really has helped, and I mean came to continue on with it. I mean, we can clearly see that whatever measures that were put in place since the 7 years is paying off. So we will urge Ghanaians to be appreciative of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for the good work that he has done. How he managed COVID. I mean, look at what happened in other countries. He did very well in terms of over 5 million students experiencing free education now. It's massive. And clearly, we may all have our downs and challenges. But of course, where commendation is due, we need to give to the people. And I think His Excellency has really paid his dues to this country. And we hope that, the next government will continue with the good things that he did, so that Ghana will be better, and that's what we all expect.
Paul Chumberima, Member of Parliament for Doma East. We're still coming to you live from Parliament, and we are engaging members of Parliament. I have Member of Parliament from Sola, Tuna, Kalba, Honorable Andrew Chiwete. The President is expected here tomorrow. Your expectation?
It's very difficult to predict President Akufo-Addo. I'm just wondering what he's coming to say, but because it's a constitutional obligation, he has to come. I expect that as a president who worked very hard to achieve that single honor, he should be truthful to Ghanaians. He should let Ghanaians know that the promise he made to members of Parliament to deliver 1 million per constituency for the past 8 years, you should tell Ghanaians that he's not been able to fulfill that promise. You should tell Ghanaians that his promise to make Accra the cleanest city in Africa, he couldn't achieve that. You should tell Ghanaians that his 8 years in governance has been very terrible. I know he'll push everything to COVID and Ukraine and Russia war. You should let Ghanaians know that he implemented the free senior high, but in a very haphazard way that made education worse in the history of Ghana. You should let Ghanaians know that it is only under his governance that WAEC refused to release results for students to continue to go to tertiary. It should just be very truthful to Ghanaians and eat a very humble pie, then ask Ghanaians to forgive him for failing to deliver on his promises. Well, he would come and tell us he has achieved a lot. no one would deny the fact that as a president he didn't achieve a single thing, but I just expect that it should be truthful to Ghanaians based on the promises he made to Ghanaians. And you see, the joy I have is that he has just only tomorrow and some few more days. I think he has about 4 or 5, I think about 4 days or so to go. And we would breathe a sigh of relief. Let me conclude by saying that as a politician, a member of parliament, I can describe these 8 years of being a member of parliament as one of the worst periods, because I came to meet people who were members of parliament in the 4th, 5th, 6th parliament. They let us understand what they went through as members of parliament. My 7th and 8th parliament, I have a lot of stories to tell the newcoming ones. I just pray that the 9th parliament, once we have a new president, a president who has focus, a president who is determined to change Ghana, a president who is determined to reset Ghana, those coming to join us in the 9th parliament will benefit as politicians.
Is that how much you can't wait to see the back of Akufo-Addo?
I just can't wait. I wish he had come today. Yes, I can't just wait. Not just even Akufo-Addo alone, but the whole of the MPP government going away. I can't wait. Ghanaians did so well by showing them the red card. And the pattern of voting tells us all that Ghanaians can't wait to say goodbye to President Akufo-Addo. Yes.
All right. Honorable Andrew Chiwete, Member of Parliament for Sola, Tuna, Kauba. Let's move briefly and engage the Special Budget Committee. A Special Budget Committee. Okay, Honorable Huluche wanted to speak. Yes, we are expecting the President here tomorrow. Your expectation?
Oh, but I don't expect anything new. And now that he's going away, I don't know exactly what he's coming to say. He has nothing to boast of, yet he goes around boasting that he has done a lot, he has performed so much. He should come here for us to say exactly what he's coming to tell us, to convince us that this economy is better, to convince us that there are no challenges in the system, to convince us that there are no challenges, yet our pockets are facing challenges. So that is why we are expecting to come and tell us tomorrow.
Well, your president is coming, and I'm talking about John Dramani Mahama. And so you definitely equally have expectations of him. If things are that bad, how easy will it be for President Mahama to perform?
Oh, I know, because he is an experienced person. He will know where to drive to in order to make things better for us. That is the more reason why Ghanaians voted massively for him. Because where Ghana has reached now, we need an experienced hand, not a driver's mate. That is why they overwhelmingly voted for him. We have that confidence in him, that he is coming to turn things around, and we know him. He is a visionary leader, and he has that trick.
Thank you very much, and that's Honorable Holiche. Yes, and so for want of time, I will return to you in the studio. If we had some more time, there are many more people who could have engaged, including Mahama Yarga, who has just walked in. If we have a brief moment, we'll engage Honorable Mahama Yarga briefly. You are live on GHOne TV. You are live on GHOne TV. Brief one. Yes, Honorable Mahama Yarga doesn't want to speak. Let's find out whether deputy minority leader. Oh, okay. That's Honorable Yodibawa. We are live on GHOne TV.
We're live. Nanado's coming or what? Or what is
yes. State of the Nation address tomorrow.
Maza, he's just coming. Maza, he's not. Sorry. The point is that he's just coming to tell us stories, but we all know that he has failed, isn't it? He's failed. So we can't wait for him to come and finish and go, because as our flag bearer once said, it was a nightmare. It was a horror movie, and luckily enough, the horror movie is ending tomorrow by God's grace.
That's it, Bawa. I'm a member of Parliament for Bongo. And so let me finally hand over to you in the studio.
All right. Okay, Ibrahim Alhassan, thank you very much. But just help my viewers a little bit. So after tomorrow's State of the Nation's address, what next in terms of preparation for the constitution of the 9th Parliament?
So I can tell you that now that the minority to be, and I'm talking about the NPP, has made a determination as to how its front bank will look like, the NDC is very far away from doing that. There are some names that have been thrown about. In fact, I wanted to engage one of them, Honorable Mahama Yarga, Member of Parliament for Boko Central, whose name has come up as a possible replacement at the front bench of the NDC as majority leader. There are also conversations about as whether Alban Bagbin will be retained as speaker in the 9th Parliament, and then who is leaving the side of the NDC here in Parliament to join John Mahama from the executive. The names have been thrown about, and of course, nothing is firmed up. Yes, nothing is firmed up after yet. But what we know is that registration has started for new members of Parliament to register physically and online. On the 6th of January, they are expected here, and then the 8th Parliament will be dissolved, and then they will then take turn to elect a speaker who would then swear the newly elected MPs in. Then the 9th Parliament will be properly constituted, after which the speaker will lead the MPs to the Black Star Square to ensure that Parliament sits there for President John Dramani Mahama to be sworn once again into office by the Chief Justice before Parliament. But this time around, not in the chamber, not at a makeshift structure like happened in the year 2020 because of COVID, but once again at the Black Star Square, which is under renovation as we speak, Kweku. So all is set here for the transition from the 8th Parliament to the 9th Parliament. Earlier, of course, Paul Tumberma was talking about the ex gratia and the fact that there was a committee behind closed doors, chaired by the Speaker, that looked at the emolument committee's report relative to what members of Parliament are due. Mind you, it is the executive that approves that of Parliament, and Parliament approves that of executive. And so, therefore, once they went through this report and recommendations, the report will be sent back to... Yeah, so let's take a word from a deputy minority leader. You're live on GHOne TV.
Yes.
Honorable Emmanuel Kofi-Boa. First of all, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
This is the first time we're engaging in this year. Yes. Your expectation of the president when it comes to
the new incoming president,
the outgoing president. He will be here tomorrow.
The outgoing president.
Yes.
Well, we are resetting Ghana. That's what I can say.
Yes, and so that's Emmanuel Kofi-Boa, and so basically we're still here. Engaging members of Parliament.
Right. Ibrahim Al-Hassan, I think that is all time can permit us, so I can say we're very much grateful, and I know Ibrahim Al-Hassan will be bringing us a lot more. But one other important thing that happened today in Ghana, albeit not too good or great news, the Ghana National Fire Service is appealing for the purchase of fire tenders to enable them deal with infernos on a timely basis. Well, according to the service, in the event there are simultaneous fires, they will not be unable to deal with the effectively or due to the limited number of tenders available. So they will not be able to deal with fire outbreaks effectively if the fire tenders are not replaced. Well, this appeal follows an inferno that raised several second-hand clothes shops at Kantamanto here in Accra. My colleague Calvin Power has more. He was there and he's reported.
Dealers in second-hand clothing at the popular Kantamanto market are reeling from significant losses as the entire market was raised down by an inferno on the 2nd of January 2025. After engaging some of the victims, they mentioned that speculations have been in the air that the place will be touched, and to their surprise, that happened. To them, it is an arson.
I'm telling you, any problem because I don't know how I happen to be ashes. Can't me say no, me can say maybe I'm more than 30 something years. I have she said that me na me raho me bedu 3:30. I echo 4 o'clock na me bedu. The ban in the higher condemn. I condemn because to be ready for you, Nema. Obia, Nania didn't know to be going in. I want to be going in. My journey dorsal. And to a motion here, no, can hear. Say, don't person, Missy, and I say, pen on person, Mojia. Mopesa Mojia, and yet there's a week in the panel. Can't pass on Mopesa Mojia, and yet they'll be weak in Bano and the panel, the name Mashi, Nisikashi. Jia, Opesa, Joe, now to say, a high Babes in the new store. The person will be in the name of Kofi and Yesi. Fine, but there's a emotional, all the time emotional, no emotional, and emotional. Ya
see that they say, Omube Shia,
nti yetie no na ye fi say ya kika
moti we hin say ye be shi
pacho na ye titi e wa manfa no say ye si ye be shi ha nti yasa ampasa hasan shi de na je say planting
moti say ye si ye be shi but more report am a police for and I name
me dey me report bibia ma obia ba ya ti say bibi say be koso wa ha ye tie ba won say Ghana ha ne ye tie de do so nti ye de me dey manfa no say me dey ayase miti keke enti na ye frɛ ye say ahashi no na me ma hu say ne de omuka so omu be hia no eno anomo aye no
imagine if you putting it almost about 500,000 Ghana cedis into a business and you just wake up one day and you come and everything is gone. Where are you going to start from? If you are going for a loan, on what basis? What do you have as a collateral to give it out? Because what you give out as a collateral is already bent. So what are you taking? See, so we are pleading. He should really step in. That is the only thing that can help. 15 years ago it happened. 6 years ago it happened. Now it has happened again. And this is the worst. This is the worst. All of them we escaped, but this time around we are all involved.
I'm currently at the premises of the Kantamanto GCB Bank, where a member of the Ghana National Fire Service Public Relations Officer is GHOne Alex Kinate, to engage us on the inferno that is still raging at the Kantamanto second-hand clothing market here.
I want to highlight on our challenge, the fact that there was no fire, there's no working fire hydrants over here. So as we were fighting a fire, we had to, the vehicles had to travel all the way from here to circle to go and replenish and come back. This should be a clarion call that we need more fire tenders, or more resources needs to be directed to the Ghana National Fire Service, because as I speak to you, we've marshaled almost all the fire tenders in Accra over here, and with the exception of I think Ajin Kotuku and Anya, all other tenders, including the one from Parliament House and including the one at Jubilee House, are all here because all hands on deck. And even we had to call, this appliance came all the way from Temeng. We had to call again for the only appliance from Sprintex to come here. So in that case, if there's any simultaneous fire or under fire that is as enormous as this one, we'll be in trouble.
Well, as they say, another man's meat is another man's poison. Scrap dealers are having a field day. For them, it is their market day. But for the traders here, it is a situation of mourning, agony, and distraught. For GHOne Television, Calvin Powell, Kantamanto Market, Accra.
Meanwhile, security analyst Adam Bona is urging the government to consider building a fire station for the Kantamanto market. Well, according to him, the presence of such a facility around the area would have helped in a quick response to the fire at Kantamanto on Thursday morning. Well, he spoke on Newsroom with Lantam Papanko, my colleague.
This market has served generations. I mean, when I was in secondary school, it's one of the areas you could easily go to and buy, and knock down sneakers or buy something that you can't go into a boutique to buy. And so to have the whole place go down in this manner, I would say is very painful. And, my sympathies to the market, those who have lost their wares and, everything in there. And I want to believe that the incoming government would have to turn its eye and see how they can help these people and rebuild the market. And let's have a fire station, a big fire station around Kantamanto. It doesn't have it. And probably the strength of the fire service isn't also that good. But it will be good for them to deploy some surveillance, deploy some of their staff to some of this market, some of these locations I'm talking about. We could have prevented this Kantamanto inferno, but unfortunately it has happened, and probably billions have gone up in flames. This is what I can.
All right, so Dr. Adam Bonade, let's now look at other stories. Well, the clergy is calling on Ghanaians to pray for the leadership of the country as the new government prepares to take over. Well, the clergy also urged Ghanaians to put behind their political differences and support government's efforts as part of the personal resolution.
Praises, scripture readings, and fervent prayers of gratitude and hope marked this year's Watch Night services. Many congregations also dedicated time to praying for national peace, prosperity, and unity. Speaking to the head pastor of the Christian Baptist Church in Usu, the clergyman appealed to Ghanaians to pray for the leadership of the country and also live a decent life.
It's God who rules in the affairs of men. Therefore, as a nation, we should all pray for the leadership of our nation and wish them well. If we sincerely pray, God will help them to rule us.
For many, the blend of spiritual devotion and celebratory displays underscores Ghana's unique way of welcoming a new year, emphasizing faith, gratitude, and brighter days ahead.
There are so many things going on, and some are not straightforward for you to understand, but when you have God leading you, it helps.
He has spoken to us through his word, which is Christ Jesus. And he says we shouldn't add or subtract from his word.
Head pastor of the Community Praise Chapel Assemblies of God East Legon, Reverend Francis Edubuatin, also called on Ghanaians to pray and support leadership of the country.
We must demonstrate peace in our families, in our communities, and the nation as a whole. Well, 2024, we had elections. All is over. Regardless of our political affiliation, we have elected a new president and a new government. I believe as believers, children of God, we must all support the new government. We come together, irrespective of political affiliation. We need to pray.
Some members of the congregation also shared their New Year resolution.
Personally, I want to get closer to God more and make sure that I do his bidding to make sure that everything is okay.
All right, so you're live on GHOne TV. The program is News Tonight. After this break, we're back with some more local stories. Do stay with us. We'll be back soon.
It's an exciting
So all is set for me to bring you the latest happenings from our world of business. The Ajen Kotoku onion market are urging government to stabilize the exchange rate with neighboring francophone countries in order to reduce the price of onions. We're speaking on the sidelines of the Accra version, the annual Samampede Festival. Awudu Zakari attributed the high cost of onions to the transport cost and called for the construction of irrigation dams to help Ghanaian farmers cultivate onions to curtail the dependency on Mali and Benin.
Is an annual festival celebrated by the Kusasis in the Kusau traditional area in the Upper East region to show appreciation to God for a bumper harvest and a successful year. First celebrated in 1987, the festival is used to showcase the rich cultural heritage of the chiefs and people of the traditional area and is characterized by traditional dancing, music, colorful costumes, and speeches.
The Samampede Festival, since its inception, has 37 good years. It has showcased the culture and tradition of the Kusasi people to the world.
Although the 2024 edition of the festival was held in the Upper East region, some natives of the Kusau traditional area who could not make it to their hometowns observed the festival in Ajen Kotoku. Speaking during the Accra edition of the annual Samampede Festival, Awudu Zakari, a prominent trader and an organizer of the festival, highlighted the impact of high transportation costs on onion prices. He urged the government to prioritize the construction of irrigation dams to empower local farmers to cultivate onions and reduce Ghana's reliance on imports from Mali and Benin.
The exchange rate of the CFA has gone higher. Due to that, we find it very difficult due to the financial problems. When you get your little money and you have to do that business, you find it difficult simply because of the exchange rate. And like if you could have had irrigation dams within Ghana or Accra here, we can also put up in farming activities to enable us to have access to the onions farming.
The traders stressed that a robust local production strategy will not only lower prices of onion but also strengthen Ghana's food security.
While still with business, banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuahene has called on President-elect John Dramani Mahama to strengthen the country's remittance system by creating a dedicated unit to monitor and track its operations. While he believes that this measure would help stabilize the economy and reduce reliance on external loans, such as the $3 billion loan from the IMF. Well, Dr. Etuahene also urged Mahama to prioritize the economy by appointing qualified experts with a deep understanding of macroeconomic issues to provide strategic advice on economic management.
For the incoming. He must strengthen the remittances, even create a new unit at central bank, like Bangladesh. Bangladesh get 95% of remittances through banking system. We get just about 50%. So the 50%, the other 50% doesn't go into the banking system. Okay. I'm going to give you figures. Last 2023, World Bank told us 4.7 billion. We track only 2.8. 1.9 is gone. Previously, 4.2. We track 2.1. And those things are gone. But if we put a system very strong,
right,
we'll be able to track. And the currency, don't forget, once we're able to get this, track the remittances very well, it will help the management of the economy and also help the cedi to stabilize, to bring this inflation down. Number two, I think he must be advised to pay particular attention and get people who understand the microeconomic issues to help him to say that, Chief, we want to help you to ensure that this inflation and currency come down. That will be a biggest plus for him. And then the next one will be, how are we referencing the debt? I'm not talking about the external debt or the local debt. I'm talking about the 35 billion contractors debt and the energy. His Excellency must get a team as they used to have in 2010. You have a credible arrears repayment plan, so that by the time, maybe 3-4 years, you have cleared it and not created a new one.
Okay.
If you do that, I don't think the mantle is high, but it's not insurmountable.
Okay.
I think with the brains and technical people, if they will allow them to help them, they'll be able to put the country, it doesn't matter 4 years. Even remittances alone will be bigger than the IMF loan. And if we're able to track it, we will not go and beg for 3 billion. So the economy will be very.
All right, so that's about all we have for you in business. We're all set to bring you the latest from our world of sports. Tonight, retired Ghanaian football legend Asamoah Gyan has expressed disappointment with his former Black Stars teammates. In an emotional Instagram live session, Gyan revisited the decade-long criticisms he has faced and lamented that he was alone and disrespected as captain of the Black Stars during his tenure, since many of the younger teammates were brainwashed with the team.
But in Ghana, you bring what you want. I can't bet me about national team. I'm the only player he wants to see. Team friendly family in best 3 days will come by. Nipakona, Ohumia, Okutukutumina, or the Diagino. Stanley Pakono, Ohumia no afar. Or better be him. Because of Hasema Yakashel. Why? And to me, my time as the captain in the national team, I was alone. I only deliver on the field. I was alone. Say, captain, no more. Because of brainwash, people didn't respect me as the captain. Because there were people brainwashing these kids for them to be respected. I feel them be free, hold. You see? And those in Kuala you brainwash them, they regret till now. And Kuala you brainwash them. I won't mention names, but I'm wondering how they got out from the national team. How they got out. Maybe generation now, I'm free.
Meanwhile, the former Ghanaian international, that's Asamoah Gyan, has dismissed claims of a rivalry with Andre Ayew, alleging that it was a narrative created by individuals with personal interest. Well, reports of a strained relation that arose when Ayew took over the Black Stars captaincy before Gyan's retirement.
You say what? I talk about Andre. Andre is a good person. When he's playing, he's passionate. Also, Nkofo kika nsem kire no. Oh wait, obetumi wait. Anyone I know. Are you okay? Because today I'm in my element. Are you okay? So who say you people? Muna ya mudi problem eba no. I've told you it's a fact. So are you okay? What you want to know about me and Andre? Andre, when he see me, he had that genuine love inside. Genuine love inside. But because he's been brainwashed, because people want to gain from them. Oh, Asamoah, you see, quick, you can do it, Hey. And that is what people think. And that has brought those so-called rivalry. Me, I'm not a rival to anybody.
Well, so on that note, we'll